Somewhere between the noise of everyday life and the quiet of your own thoughts, there's a version of you that almost no one has ever met. And the strange part is, you've probably felt it your entire life. This quiet suspicion that your mind doesn't quite work like everyone else's. You notice things others miss. You feel things others brush off. You think in questions most people never think to ask. Psychologists have a name for this: a rare cognitive pattern found in only a small percentage of people. And once you recognize it, you can't unsee it. So before this video ends, you'll know exactly why you've always felt a little out of place, and why that might be the most valuable thing about you. The first sign is something most people misunderstand their entire lives. They call it being too sensitive. But it's not sensitivity. It's depth. When something happens, you don't just experience it once. You experience it twice. First in the moment, and again later when your mind replays every detail. Neuroscientists call this the default mode network, the quiet part of your brain that turns on the moment the world goes silent. For most people, it hums gently in the background. But in a rare mind, it roars, pulling you into deep reflection when everyone else is scrolling past their own thoughts. And here's what's strange. This isn't a flaw. Research on highly reflective thinkers suggests they process emotional information more deeply than the average person. But that depth comes with a cost. Every kind word stays longer. Every cold look stings a little more. Every silence carries meaning others never hear. But that's only part of the story, because feeling deeply is just the first sign. The second one, most people never notice about themselves. The second sign is a way of thinking so quiet you might not even realize you're doing it. While others react, you observe. While others speak, you analyze. Your mind doesn't take things at face value, it peels them back, like slowly opening a letter you weren't sure was meant for you. Psychologists call this cognitive flexibility, the ability to hold multiple perspectives at once without collapsing into a single opinion. It's the reason you can argue both sides of a debate in your own head, and still not be sure which one you agree with. Most people find this exhausting. You find it necessary, because a shallow answer feels almost dishonest to a mind like yours. But here's the twist: this same gift is often mistaken for overthinking, and that misunderstanding leads to the third sign, which is even rarer. The third sign shows up quietly. You walk into a room and feel the mood shift before anyone says a word. You sense tension before the argument begins. Psychology calls this emotional contagion, the invisible way emotions transfer between people without a single spoken word. For most people, these signals pass unnoticed. For you, they arrive loud and clear, sometimes so clear that you mistake them for your own feelings. That's why you leave certain conversations feeling drained, even when nothing dramatic happened. You didn't just hear their words, you absorbed their weight. And this is where a rare mind becomes both a gift and a burden. You understand people better than they understand themselves, but sometimes you forget to check in with yourself. But the real reason behind this is much deeper, and it leads to the fourth sign, which almost no one talks about. The fourth sign is easy to overlook because it doesn't feel dramatic. It feels ordinary to you. But it's actually one of the rarest cognitive traits in the world. You're endlessly curious. Not about trivia, but about people. About motives. About why things are the way they are. About what's real underneath what's shown. Most people stop asking why around age 7. You never did. And that quiet refusal to stop questioning is the fingerprint of a mind wired differently. Neuroscience suggests that highly curious minds show stronger activity in the brain's reward system when they encounter new information, almost the way others react to food or music. For you, learning isn't a task. It's a hunger, a quiet, almost invisible one. But it never really goes away. And yet, most people never realize what happens next, because this curiosity slowly leads to something that separates a rare mind from all others. The fifth sign is the quietest one. It doesn't announce itself. It sits in the back of your chest, especially in moments when everyone around you is laughing. It's a feeling that's hard to explain. Being surrounded by people, but somehow floating above the conversation. Present, but not fully inside it. This isn't loneliness. It's what psychologists sometimes describe as existential solitude, the awareness that your inner world may be too vast to fully share with anyone. And that awareness can feel heavy until you realize something powerful. Every rare mind in history has felt this exact same silence. The artists, the scientists, the writers, the quiet observers who changed the world. They didn't feel alone because something was wrong with them. They felt alone because they were seeing more. And once you accept that your mind was never built for surface-level living, something inside you finally exhales. Here's the truth most people never hear. A rare mind isn't a mind that thinks more. It's a mind that feels more, sees more, questions more, and carries more. It's not a superpower. It's not a diagnosis. It's a way of moving through the world that most people will never quite understand. And that's okay, because rare minds weren't built to blend in. They were built to notice what others miss, and to find meaning where others only find noise. So if any of this felt uncomfortably familiar, the depth, the layers, the quiet curiosity, the invisible weight, maybe you were never too much. Maybe you were just wired for something more. And now the question I want to leave you with is this. When was the last time you felt truly understood? Not just heard, but understood. Share it in the comments. Someone else needs to know they're not alone. If this video reached somewhere quiet inside you, consider subscribing. This channel is built for minds like yours, the ones that think a little deeper. And in the next documentary, we'll uncover something even stranger. The psychological reason certain people never feel like they truly belong anywhere. You won't want to miss it. Because sometimes the moment you understand your own mind is the moment your whole life begins to make sense.